Fantastic.
Welcome, everybody. I'm with the Oregon Office of Student Access and Completion. We're an office, a state agency office under the Higher Education Coordinating Commission. I'm going to give you a brief presentation tonight on finding funds for Oregon students, but it's just an overview. Please go to our website, oregonstudentaid.gov, to get more information and to start your applications with us. But this is going to be a brief overview. We've got lots of information on our website. We have videos on our YouTube. So please don't panic, because I'm going to go through this information pretty quickly. But all of it is located on our website for you. And even our great videos that will walk you through things step by step. So these are some of the topics that I'm going to go through tonight, and we'll step through each one and go through just the real important parts or points that I want to make. Again, go to our website for more information. So these are the different types of financial aid that you'll find. And these, we start with the good kind first, because these don't have to be paid back. And so you really want to focus on grants, scholarships, and work study when you're out there looking for financial aid. Grants are usually government funded. So you have the Pell Grant, that is the federal grant. You have the Oregon Opportunity Grant and the Oregon Promise Grant that are state funded. Most of the grants are need-based, so they're for low-income students. Scholarships, on the other hand, are privately funded. So these are donation. So for our scholarship application, we receive donations from either nonprofits or private individuals that want to start up a fund, a scholarship with us. And so they vary greatly, and we'll go over the OSAC Scholarship Application in just a minute. Our scholarships, and most people's scholarships, are either need-based or merit-based. So they're for low-income students, or they're for really good students that have special talents, really good grades. They really wide variety of scholarships. Work Study is a federal program that is mostly for low-income students, and most students use Work Study. They get paid to have a position at their college that they're attending while they're going to school. So these are all great types of financial aid to look more into. Other type is loans. And we really, we want to stress, for you to do your research, talk to a lot of people about loans before, loans have to be paid back. So be a good consumer. Don't take out more loans than what you actually need. Just take out enough student loans so you can pay for your tuition and your books and the supplies that you need. But be frugal if you're taking student loans. Federal loans tend to have a little lower interest rate than private loans, but be a good consumer, really do your research, and make sure you're picking out the best loan for you and your family. So the free application for federal student aid is your first step to getting financial aid. I'll refer to it as the FAFSA going forward. And this just opened on October 1st. And so it's ready for you to get in there. And I'm sure some of you have probably already started. It opens each year on October 1st. And so the first time you're going to do it is when you're a senior in high school. And then you're going to do it every October that you are in college. So you can keep seeking more financial aid. And what happens when you do your financial aid? And people used to be very afraid of doing the FAFSA form. It used to be very complicated and hard to do, and they've really made it as simple as possible. Everything's online now. There's this great option to where your parents or your guardian's tax information can be uploaded into the application for you. And I highly recommend that you use that option while you're doing it. So with the FAFSA, once you've completed and submitted your financial aid application, they're going to give you your expected family contribution. Your EFC, as they call it, is what schools, what OSAC uses, what we use to decide on how much aid that we're going to award you. The FAFSA is required for most federal and state, for all federal and state grants and loans. And so it's really important that you get this done. And we like to recommend, since it opens October 1st, try to get your FAFSA done by Halloween. That's a really good target date to get it done. The Oregon Student Aid application is the alternative to the FAFSA or the federal application for students that are undocumented or DACA students. So in order to do the FAFSA, you must have a Social Security number. If you don't, the state of Oregon offers you a state financial aid application. And so we really encourage students, it opens October 1st. It's identical to the federal form, although it is for Oregon students only, and it is only for DACA and undocumented students. So again, you're gonna apply for it your senior year of high school the first time, and then each year you are in college, you'll continue to apply for the ORSAA if you are undocumented or a DACA student.
Lisa,
yes.
Quick question for you. There's a question on the board. How much is expected from a family contribution for a middle income family?
Oh, there's just too many variables for me to even answer that. You can go onto the FAFSA.gov, their website, and they have a calculator in there that you can just run some quick numbers in there. But it really, how many people are in the household, how many students are in college at the same time, what is your annual income, and so do you have any assets? That is just way beyond any knowledge that I have to just give you a ballpark. But you can go use their calculator and get an idea of what the student would be looking at.
Thank you.
So the Oregon Opportunity Grant is Oregon's largest need-based grant. All you have to do to be eligible for it, besides being low income, is to do one of the financial aid forms. There is no other application. And you can see the maximum award amounts for this year for community college or two-year college was $2,778. For a four-year university, it was $3,600. Now, those are the amounts for the class of 2020. We don't get projections, and we won't know until next spring what it would be for the class of 2021 if we have seniors in our audience. You must be enrolled, you must go to school, right after high school, at least part-time, to receive the funds for the entire year. Again, easy to get if you are low income. Do your financial aid as soon as possible. And if you are eligible, you will be awarded the Oregon Opportunity Grant. Oregon Promise is our newest grant. It is for tuition only at community colleges. The eligibility for it is pretty simple. You must have a 2.5 GPA. You must go to school. You must go to community college directly within 6 months after graduating high school or receiving your GED. So you cannot take a gap year. The EFC may be considered. So sometimes we don't have enough money for all the students that apply for it. And so we'll have to put a cap on it. And so the Oregon Promise application is very, very simple. And so I highly recommend everybody apply for it. It takes about 5 minutes. It's already open. And the award varies quite a bit. For the 2021, so the class of 2020 that just started college, their awards were anywhere from $1,000 to $4,005. Again, this is for community college only, and it only pays for 90 credits. If you've taken any classes during high school, those are included in your 90 credits. First step, do your financial aid. So either do the FAFSA or the ORSAA, either one. And it's very important. You have to list a community college on your application. If you don't, you will be ineligible. Complete the Oregon Promise application. Takes 5 minutes. 5 minutes. It's very, very simple to do. I tested it for them the other day and to make sure the system was working when they first launched, and very easy, do it. Even if community college is your plan B, please go ahead and fill out the Oregon Promise so that if something happens and you can't make it to that four-year university, that you can go ahead and do the Oregon Promise, okay? So eligibility, 2.5 GPA. You must go to community college within 6 months. Sometimes we have to put a cap on it, an EFC. You have to have been a student. You must have been a resident of Oregon within 12 months of going to college. So here's the chart of deadlines and dates. So you're gonna probably, most of you will be high school seniors next spring. So you'll graduate between March 1st and June 30th. So your deadline to have everything done isn't until June. Easy peasy. The most important thing though is you must go to college within the fall, within 6 months. If you graduate early, let's say you decide you're gonna graduate early in January, you have a deadline of February 1st, you must go to school, you must start community college in spring. So either way, you must go to school right away. You can't take a gap year, okay? We have many other grants, and you'll want to go to our website, OregonStudentAid.gov. We have a grant if you're in the National Guard, if you're a current or previous foster youth, if you're a college student and you need childcare while you go to college, we have a grant for that. And so please go to our website and click on the banner that says grants to see all the information about the list of grants that we have available for Oregon students. And these are for Oregon, students graduating high school and adults. So first thing to do is go to our portal and set up an account. Easy, go to our website, start an account, do your basic information. And what happens is that you have this one account with us. And so you want to save your login so you can use it year after year. And all of your applications are in one place. So you can apply for the Oregon Promise and the OSAC Scholarship applications, and you only need that one login. This is where you'd go in the spring and accept and decline any scholarships. And be sure to use a personal email, not your high school email, because those do go away once you graduate high school. So for your financial aid and for scholarships and grants, you should use your own personal email. So our application is due to open November 1st. Our first deadline is the early bird deadline, and that's February 15th. If you submit your application and there's no error on your transcript and you've given us the corrected transcript, then you are put into a drawing for $1,000 scholarships. The deadline is February 15th by 5 p.m. The final deadline is March 1st, 5 p.m. There's very few exceptions to that. And so please use the February 15th deadline. I recommend when I mentor high school students and help them do these applications, try to get as much done before you go on Christmas vacation, before winter break, and then that way it will make your spring so much easier. So these are our deadlines. These are some examples of the scholarships. So we have over 600 scholarships for you to consider. You can apply up to 20 scholarships. Be sure that once you put in start your account, we are going to send you some suggested scholarships that we think match you. Well, there's going to be a lot of other scholarships that may not come up on that. And so you'll want to go to our catalog and scroll through and really look closely at all the different scholarships that we have available, because it's a unified scholarship application. So with one scholarship application, you can apply up to 20 scholarships.
Lisa, quick question.
Yes.
How early can students start applying for scholarships? And is there an age requirement?
Yes. So most of the things that I'm talking about today, you would start your senior year in high school and then continue every year you're in college.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Is there an age requirement?
No, just that you've either gotten your GED or your high school diploma.
Fantastic.
And so, great questions, you guys. And so what you should be doing, if you are a younger student and you haven't started doing this yet, you should start putting together a 3-ring notebook, Michael's college notebook, and put everything that you do in high school through there. Start a resume in there and just start keeping track. And we'll go over more things, and you'll know when I'm done here, you'll know exactly what to start putting into that 3-ring notebook, so that when it's your senior year, you have everything you need. So reviewing these scholarship examples, you can see, so our donors decide the criteria. So they decide, well, I want to give, like the top one, I want to give a scholarship for people that are going to go into teaching. The next one is engineering and business and very specific. So some of our scholarships have to go to a college, either a community college or a university in Oregon. Some of our scholarships you can take anywhere in the US. Some of our scholarships are career specific. You know, some of them are high school specific. So maybe your high school will have a scholarship in our application that is only for the students at your school. So they're very specific. They all have different criteria. Some of them are for students that are low income, and some of them are just looking for the shining stars. You know, who are the good students with good grades that have worked really hard, and we'll go through more of the criteria in a minute. So this top one at the Seneca Sawmill Company has an extra essay, 5 to 7 pages. And so is it worth your time and effort to do the extra work on top of the regular application? Yes, absolutely. Because not very many people are going to do that, to where it's a smaller application pool. Gives you better odds. So whenever you see an extra essay, see if you are eligible and see if that falls within a type of scholarship that you would want to apply for. So the second one there, the Franz, the medical fields, they have a GPA eligibility. Some scholarships do, some scholarships don't. The last one on that list is for non-traditional, so maybe an adult student, first generation students. And so again, very specific, very different eligibility for our scholarships.
Quick question, Lisa.
Yes.
For the Trailblazers Legends Scholarship, how many hours is considered strong community service?
Oh, good question. I can't give you a total number, but I would say a student that is on a regular basis doing some type of community service, and we view community service either helping your family or helping your community. And so I don't have an exact number to give you, but I would say it's consistent and you're doing meaningful work. Some students like to do, they hop around and they'll do a weekend with a solve cleanup, or the next weekend they'll be with Red Cross. Those are very worthy organizations, and that's great. But if you can find something that you're very passionate about, or that maybe is in line with your career, those are the type of things that you should volunteer with, and try to get something that you can stick with and really get connected to, and start doing some leadership things and you know, community service that you have responsibility, and that's what selection committees are looking for.
Would community service through Girl Scout program count towards the Trailblazers?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Fantastic.
Okay, so we're in there. So if you've already done your Oregon Promise application, You already have a login. You've already started. So you're going to click on the OSAC Scholarship Application and start completing their the requirements for that. So we award about $18 million a year. And so we award a lot of money. So we ask a lot of questions, and there's a lot to do. So what's nice about our application is that you can start it, save it, and come back as much as you want between now and March 1st. So keep coming back, work on different sections, you know, target, say, okay, I'm going to do my personal statements first. Okay, next, I'm going to do the activities chart. And so really, you know, break it down in little pieces and work hard at it, because we can really tell the people that try to throw this together the last couple of weeks before the deadline, we can really tell the difference between somebody that has put a lot of work and a lot of thought into their application. So you'll start your student profile, you know, what high school you go to, what grade you're in, you know, when you're graduating and all of that, because we have scholarships for adults too. So we have to ask you all those questions. We can't assume you're a high school senior because we award adults too. The personal statements, and we'll go through those in a minute. Your transcripts. The #1 reason we reject your application is because you send us the wrong transcripts. It's very important that you get us the right one and you wait, because it has to have your grades through the end of January. So you can't send it to us too soon. As a high school senior, have your there's going to be a button and it's going to say, would you like your high school to upload the transcripts to OSAC for you? Click yes. And that way, staff at your high school are going to send us the transcripts for all the seniors that apply to our scholarship at the right time. We know it's correct. And so please, high school seniors, let your high school upload those transcripts. If you are a college student, you are going to go to your college account, save a PDF of your transcript, and you will upload that transcript yourself. It does not need to be an official transcript for either high school or college. So keep all this information, because if you don't, you know, even if you win your senior year, you can keep applying each year you're in college. And then we'll go through the activities chart. Some of our, I already discussed that some of our scholarships might have an additional essay. Some of them, you're saying like my parent or guardian is a member of a union or some organization, you may have to provide documents proving that for that. So let's go through these sections.
Question before you go any further, Lisa.
Sure.
I had a question, again, back on the Trailblazers Legend Scholarship. As far as the community service was concerned, they asked if they worked as a firefighter doing the fires, does that count?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Very good, very good. And
anytime you're doing anything to help your community, that counts.
Very good. And a question on the transcripts. What transcripts are correct transcripts beyond just being after January 1st?
I think that is the main point.
Okay.
You know, it's really important. What you can do right now is get a copy of your transcripts and make sure everything on them is correct. Make sure, because we're human and people make mistakes. So maybe you got it incomplete in a class in your freshman year and it hasn't been fixed yet.
Right.
And so go in there and make sure, you know, all of your classes are on there and are correct.
Right. All right. Another quick question. They have a lot of questions.
That's fine.
If you're taking high school classes and college classes, would you upload both transcripts?
Great question. Absolutely. Absolutely. If they don't show on your high school transcript, some do. And that's another good reason to get a copy of your transcript and look at it. So absolutely. The more information that you can send us, the better. But you can't send us anything extra. So you can't slip in a letter. We don't ask for letters of recommendation. You can't slip in a letter of recommendation and think it's going to help you. But transcripts is something we ask for. So yes, if you're taking college courses, upload that transcript also. But you're still considered, when you're doing our application, you're still considered a high school senior. So don't make that mistake and click that you're a college student. Just because you've taken some classes there, you're still, your school is paying for that. Your high school's paying for those. And so that's an agreement between the high school and the college. You are still considered a high school student.
If you qualify for a scholarship, can it be used at a trade school and not just a university or community college?
Yes and no. If it says specifically that it has to be used at a certain college, then no. But if it's just a scholarship that says for any student graduating at an Oregon school, so it really depends on the scholarship. But yes, you can use it for trade, well, and it has to be a school that is, accepts like federal financial aid. So some of these scholarships can't go to a private. I'm trying to think of a name one that, like maybe the hairdresser one, the, oh, what is it called? Oh, like a tattoo school. Some of the scholarships will say no, that you can't, you have to get, it has to go to either Oregon Community College or a private or public university in the state. Good question.
Fantastic.
Okay, so here we are at the activities chart. And it's really important that you put as much information here as possible. You have space for up to 20 activities. Think of this as a resume. Your resume of what have you been doing in high school all this time. So the first section, school activities, that's where you're gonna list sports, clubs, choir, any recognition or awards that you've received, any student leadership that you've done. So any of the fun, great activities that you've done in high school, that's where you're gonna put that. Volunteer activities, we're talking a lot about community, volunteer activities, doing community service. So you wanna list anywhere, and we consider helping your family. Do you babysit siblings? Do you take grandma to the grocery store because she doesn't drive anymore? So if anything that you're doing to make the world a better place, either in your community or, in where you live, the city that you live, or the county or the state that you live, that's your community. Anything like that. But then don't forget, does your family have a farm that you help work on the farm? Or you're out translating for your parents at doctor's appointments, things like that. Anything that you're helping your family, you should tell us about. If you're, and especially, if you're babysitting siblings, your parents are working, that's a lot of responsibility. And so tell us about it. Paid work history, that's pretty obvious, but tell us you work at McDonald's and you teach other employees how to run the drive-up window. What responsibility and leadership are you showing at your job? And so you can have up to 20 activities through all of this. If you've played football every year, all 4 years you've been in high school, put that on one line, estimate how many hours you think you've done for 4 years, and then, and list it like that. So don't list football 4 times and take up, a quarter of your space. Use your space wisely on this chart. If you are a younger student, there's an example of this on our website. I would print it out, put it in that 3-ring notebook, and start keeping track. It's hard your senior year to think back about everything you've been doing, okay? So start tracking it now. I think, so what we're looking for, so responsibility, leadership, recognition, awards, anything that you've excelled at. So let us know, okay? So here are statements. I got a cough. Excuse me. Been talking a lot today. The personal statements are very short. So they're 1,000 characters, which is approximately 150 words. It's really important that you answer every question very specifically. each question has multiple parts. It's important that you answer all parts. Let's talk about them. What are your specific education plan? First part. Career goals, second part, and why, third part. So it's really important you answer all of those. Your specific education plan should very clearly lay out what college you want to go to, you know, what degree you want, and what is your career choice and why have you chosen that? And then tell us, why are you inspired to do that? Number two, what have you done for your family or community that you care about most and why? So again, what have you done to make the world a better place? Why, you know, what are you doing, and tell us why you're doing it. 2 parts. Essay 3, describe a personal accomplishment, first part, and the strengths and skills you use to achieve it, second part. So these are those internal characteristics. So I'm on the scholarship selection committee. I'm looking at your application. I'm looking at your transcript, so I know what grades you have. I'm looking at your activities chart, so I know what you've been up to. And so this is where these essays or these personal statements are where you really, really talk to us. You tell us your story. So on number 3, you know, your personal accomplishment, you know, don't waste this space to tell us you're a 4-point student. We've got your transcript. Tell us something else about yourself. And those internal characteristics. Are you motivated, hardworking, all those good internal, you know, you want to brag about yourself and these strengths and skills. You really want to talk really well about yourself and really brag about yourself.
Okay, we have a few quick questions.
Okay.
All right. If you're not yet sure about your career path, how do you recommend answering that question?
Okay. 2 different ways. If you're too vague, if you say, well, I'm thinking about going into nursing, but I really like interior design, you know, they really are looking for students that have some type of goal in mind. They have a direction. And so try, what do you think would be your number 1 career choice? If you could pull it out of the sky and say, this is what I'm going to do, try to go with that, especially if it's something that you're inspired to do, that you're passionate about. You can write much better personal statements about that if it's something that you really care about. So for the purpose of your college admission forms too, the clearer and more solid your goals, the better your application is going to be looked at.
Fantastic. I think someone missed earlier in your presentation. They were asking about the website on how to fill out the financial. It says she was talking about a website and how to fill it out. They were trying to figure out what was the website that you were giving earlier. Okay,
so it's the federal website for doing your financial aid.
Okay.
And then our website is the OregonStudentAid.gov website.
Fantastic.
And what I'm hoping I get done early enough, and we'll be able to go to our website, and all the links and everything are right there.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Okay.
So the 4th personal statement is describe a significant change or experience that has occurred in your life. Now, pay attention to that, because you're young and you may not have had any big change or experience that you can write about, but it doesn't say it happened to you. It said it occurred in your life. So I like to use the example, maybe your mom got a big job promotion, right? And she's working 60, 70 hours a week now because of her promotion. That has occurred in your life. You're more responsible. Maybe you have siblings you're helping with. You're helping more around the house. Things like that. So think about things, not it doesn't have to have had, you know, something that you've done directly, but it's occurred in your life. How did you respond? And what did you learn about yourself? Okay. So your mom got a big promotion, she's gone a lot more. I'm helping with my siblings. I'm very responsible. I've had to really step up and kind of be the adult around the house because mom's gone all the time, you know, with her big promotion. So, you know, try to think something that you can write about. And again, 3 parts. What was it? How did you respond? What did you learn about yourself? It's very important you answer all those pieces. So how to stand out? Yes, academic success. Take the highest level, math, science, you know, English, things like that. If you can take the college courses while you are in high school, that's fabulous. Some students are graduating with their associate's degree, their 2-year degree, while they're still in high school. That's fabulous. Extracurricular activities, we want you clubs, sports, community service, whatever it is, you know, you're participating in life. And again, don't forget to tell us if there's something unique, special about you, something that you're very passionate about, you need to share it with us. I like to tell students, if your activities chart, if this activities chart isn't full, we just assume you're sitting at home watching TV, and that doesn't win scholarships, okay? If you're young, get out there, find something that you can get involved with and that you can participate in. So on your essays, you know, think about who you're writing to. You know, you're trying to win thousands of dollars in scholarships. It should be your best work. Humor, I like to say funny doesn't win money. We get a kick out of funny essays, but usually they don't answer our questions and they don't win any scholarships. Proofread. So so you can type our scholarship, so the essays, the everything you need. If you already have a job resume, you can copy and paste that information over into our activities chart. If you use Career Information Systems or CIS at your high school, there's an upload button for the activities chart. But since you can start and save and come back as often as you need to do our application, it's really important that you print it off before you submit it, because like I said, our personal statements have a 1,000-character limit, but it doesn't stop you from going over that. And so it's better if you type it up in a Word document and then use their word count and do the characters that way, so you know you don't go over. But really, ask for help. If you have Aspire at your school, ask for help from an Aspire person, the volunteers that work one-on-one with students and help them with these type of applications. But use your friends and family to give you feedback on your application before you submit it. Keep applying. So your school is going to have local scholarships that is only for the high school seniors at your school, and that's your smallest application pool. That's your least competition, is your own high school classmates. And so check with them. And then when you're applying to colleges, be sure to talk to their financial aid office and make sure that you're applying for all the scholarships and financial aid that's available there. There's other local organizations and service groups that offer scholarships and funding, so be sure to check around. The Ford Family Scholarship is a very large scholarship. These are full ride scholarships. You go to their website at www.tfff.org. The Ford Scholars is for high school students, and they'll have their own scholarship application that you can then go and apply to. So it's the Ford Family Foundation scholarships. Be sure to look them up. And keep applying. There's more. There's national scholarships. Once you've got all this information together in that notebook, you can keep applying. So keep applying everywhere and anywhere. If you're using Naviance, there's a way in Naviance to look. So if you're, or Synergy, or whatever your high school is using, there should be a tab in your student account that takes you to more scholarships. So first steps, get your financial aid done, either the FAFSA or the ORSAA, as soon as possible. Go in and start the account on the OSAC portal at oregonstuntaid.gov. Get your Oregon Promise done, since it's so easy to do. Get that done. Learn more. We're done early, so I'm going to go and show you the website. We have lots of YouTube videos that are very helpful. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter so we feel better about ourselves and we're popular. But use our resources. We have a lot of great videos that will walk you through any of our applications. Find out if your school has the Aspire program. We have some really great mentors that are trained volunteers that will sit down with students and help you. Well, now we're online doing it on, virtual, but we will help you get through applications, admission forms, answer questions for you. And so see if your high school has the Aspire program.
All right, Lisa, quick question before you go
Sure.
any further. The question is, do I apply for scholarships when my tentative plan is to go to community college first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
good.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Uh-oh. So when I switched screens, it took it away. So. Okay, so now we're looking at our website. And you can see at the top up here, you can go directly to apply. Grants, if you want to look at more of the grants that we have available. Scholarships, that's where you get started there. Aspire, if you want to check and see if your high school has the Aspire program. Outreach and resources. The presentation I just did, in the next couple of weeks, it will be listed in there to where you can go in and look at our notes. Because again, I mean, it would take me 2 hours to get through everything that's in this presentation. And so this was just a really brief overview of it. You can go in there once in a couple of weeks when it's there, go in and look at our note pages and see that. As you scroll down, you can see we have a link that will take you right to the FAFSA or the ORSAA. Here's the student portal account if you want to get started. Now, if we come up here and click on scholarships, this is our main scholarship page. There is lots of information here. There's a video that will walk you through it. Over here on the right-hand side, there's a OSAC Scholarship Catalog. So that is the catalog that I recommend you go through and see what scholarships are available that you meet the criteria. If you log in and start your application, then look at the scholarships, it's very slow. It's a click, open, read, close it. Click, open, read, close it. If you look at it outside of the application here, it's just an open, scroll through, write down the numbers, the name and number of the application, the scholarship you want to apply to. We have over here scholarship help, or application help, to where there's the personal statements are there if you want a copy of that so you can get started. The activities chart. So if you're a younger student, you're freshman, sophomore, junior, and you just want to get started on things, come to application help and you can get everything you need there. Okay. Again, if you are a younger student, over here on the right, so I'm on our main page at oregonstuntaid.gov. Over here on the right-hand side, it says, I am a high school student. Click that open, scroll down, and we have resources here for you. So this career, college, calendar, and checklist, helpful. And our checklists start freshman year. So ninth graders, you can get started. There's a checklist for you, things you can do to get started. If college or even a career school or anything like that is what you want to do after school, our checklist will help you do that. Okay?